traders, happy Wednesday. I hope you guys have all been having an amazing day, but I want to go ahead and break down my trades for you guys and let you guys know exactly how it went for me today. So let's jump right into today's video. And as you guys can see, I did have an overall red day on my account, down $123. And in terms of how I did trading wise, I was up $136 on SQs and I did lose $114 on TQs today. So overall, I was in the green, but not much, right? About 0.2% or, around $20. And for any of you guys who care to see, these were all my filled orders. I did have quite a lot, as I have been all week, right? I started trading right around market open, as you guys can see, and I didn't stop trading right until really about 9:20, I would say. I did take one last trade at market close, but I'm just going to go ahead and break down my thought process heading into today, and what I could have done better. So maybe you guys can learn something from it as well. But pre-market session, what did I see going on? We were pretty much consolidating for the most part. We weren't really uptrending or downtrending, right? Just trading sideways between the middle and bottom VWAP. And so, my thought process heading into the market was I knew on the bigger time frames, right, we were more overbought. And what I mean by that is, anytime we've approached these price levels, we have experienced some form of resistance, right? We did it once here. And so there was a chance that we could do it again, especially since we were consolidating. But my big mistake on the day was thinking that this thing was going to potentially bounce and find a support and push up to around these levels before it continued to sell off, right? That's really a big mistake I made, where I was really just trying to predict, a potential bounce, when in reality, bigger picture, I should have just been going, with the direction and on the sell off, right? I definitely lost a lot of money on TQs where I really shouldn't have. I did a good job of capitalizing on the market sell-off, right? I was up about 1.4% on SQs, but on TQs, did a horrible job of managing my risk, and I was very impulsive sending my trades, right? So what I saw pretty much going on, as I mentioned, the market opened, I saw this thing start to push up, right? And so that's that support I was talking to you guys about, right? Where I thought on the bigger time frames that although we did look like we could fall, I thought we were going to push up potentially, right, to near top VWAP levels before we continue to sell off. And so that's a big mistake I made. And so as you guys can see, market open, we start to push up. And I start thinking that we're going to, continue to push up to around these levels. But that's not what happened. This thing starts to pull on back. And that's where I lost a lot of money on TQs, right? I would get burned on this on the way up. But this thing was really just starting to change direction. So I had to cut losses there. And then the last bit of money I lost on TQs was once this thing sold off, I did start thinking that it was going to be a potential SQ sell-off for the day, right? But as this thing starts selling off, I noticed it started to bounce aggressively. So that was throwing me off, right? It made me think, are we going to finally see the push I was thinking, right? Are we low enough where we're bouncing off the bottom VWAP and we're going to potentially shoot up now before we continue to sell off? That's not what ended up happening, right? This thing shot up, pulled on back, and I wasn't even paying attention to SQs. I was waiting for this thing to pull on back so I could catch it out of support and continue to ride this thing up, right, as I mentioned, before it continues to sell off. And so as you guys can see, that's not what ended up happening. This thing actually broke support, and I averaged up heavy here thinking it was gonna catch the support, but it broke through the support, fell. I had to cut losses, so that's why I was down a lot on TQs. And then the rest of the day I did a good job of riding SQs down, right? And then I really just stopped trading around 9:20, right around this area, right around this last few pushes before it actually started to change direction. And so once this thing changed direction, I was able to actually make a little bit of money on this last push down, I believe. I got in on this fall here. It picked up and, started to fall, and I just decided to cut it there because I wasn't seeing, the type of movement I thought we were going to see heading, downward into market close. But that's a big lesson I wanted to take away, right? And I hope you guys learn from is if we are overextended on the bigger time frames and it makes sense why this thing could fall, there should be no reason why I'm trying to time a potential bounce on TQs, right? I should be more heavily focused and have my attention towards SQs because it makes sense that thing has more margin, right? Why am I trying to predict and squeeze out a TQs play when this thing has huge margin for SQs? I just... it really frustrated me looking in hindsight how, much opportunity there was to make money, and the fact that I, really did blow it today, even though I did end green. Just the fact that I could have had a monster day today on SQs if I just focused on going with true direction rather than trying to time these little bounces here, right? So that's my big mistake that I hope you guys can take away from. Other than that, the market didn't perform too hot today, but Tesla was pretty much, leading the market overall. We did finally break over $200 and hold, so we were at over 200 or right around $203 a share today, which is absolutely amazing. I don't know if you guys have been following Tesla, but we hit lows, right, of around $100. It's at $200 now. Imagine you bought at the low, you just doubled your money within, it's been about a month, I would say. In a month, you could have just doubled your money, which is absolutely insane, right? And it shows the potential, right, that these tech stocks really do have to recover. So I'm very excited about that overall. And, in terms of where the market's at, I do think we're at a critical level, right? We're at an area where this thing could potentially try bouncing before it continues to sell off, right? Because every time we've sold off, we've touched or approached this green SMA line, and we haven't touched it yet. So I think we could potentially still sell off. Doesn't mean we have to, no, right? We could catch a support, right? If you guys do see it on, a smaller time frame, you guys can see that we do have potential to find a support, right, and continue rallying, right, if the buying pressure is there. But bigger time frame, we do have to take into consideration that the Nasdaq as a whole did have a nice run, and so we are more overextended, right? Doesn't mean that we can't pull on back, right? That's not what I'm saying. We could definitely pull on back, but there is lots of buying pressure right now. You definitely don't want to try to predict the top, but at the same time, right, we do have to take into account this rally that's happened, right? So we are due for a price correction, right? But doesn't have to happen right away, right? So the market could get choppy. We just have to follow up with it day by day and see what happens. But thank you guys so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. It really does mean a lot. But if you found this useful or informative at all, I really do appreciate you dropping a like and subscribing. Other than that, if you have any other questions at all, anything stock related or anything like that, just go ahead and drop a comment and I will be more than happy to answer it for you. But that's pretty much everything. I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's recap. Take care.